The parole of Sammy Gravano. Today is the day. It has finally come. It was so long ago. Clear thought she moved on from, but the pain still resides in her body and mind. For a trauma like hers is hard to leave behind. As Sammy's parole hearing approaches, within clear nervousness and roaches. People ask questions, but she keeps it vague. With her worries she doesn't want to plague. She visits the grave of her old mustache, and in her mind sees the whole last year flash. She was never alone when she had it, and she would twirl it around when she would sit, and it kept her company when she slept. It was hard to sleep, nightmares would intercept. Dreamt of getting stabbed over and over again, dies every night, and thought she died back then. She still hasn't seen the face of her attacker. Surely he wouldn't come back for her. She wants to forget, but can never escape. She wants to trust, but her world might reshape. She gets a ride from Whispier to the courts. He helps her nerves through their talks, though their talk is real short. She struggles at the door, hand pressed against the wood. As she listens in, wonders if she really should. Can she face her torture and her past pains? Now that he's really here, her spirit wanes. She wonders why it is so hard to go in. The hearing will soon begin. A man tells her it's okay when and if you're ready. They're waiting for you, but she's here already. Oh, they were waiting for her, but she's here already. Sorry, it's hard for me to read. She takes a deep breath and inches to stand, but doesn't know what to say, hadn't planned. She clears her throat, but her voice is stuck. She's gathering her nerves, but nervousness has struck. She can feel her pounding heart in her chest as words scramble in her head and she's stressed. Though silent, they feel her anxiety, her fears. The stutter in her voice makes it to their ears. Grayson says you can take a seat and just breathe. And Hayes says, speak your mind. If it's anger, you see. Or whether you think he should be deceased or if you think he deserves to be released, I don't, but it's not up to me. It's up to you. It's you he hurt. You gotta see what he's due. She heads to the stand, staring at the floor. She doesn't wish to look at him once more. On the ground beside her, she spots a purring cat. She too was once vulnerable like that. Sammy takes the stand and she hears his voice. By reflex, she glanced up. Didn't have a choice. His voice is a sound she can never forget. In her mind, Sammy still poses a threat. She then averts her gaze and stares back down, watches the cat and hopes the purrs will drown. But she hears him speak of his heinous crimes, atrocities of his past and all the times that he made threats to the officers and stalked. She could barely listen as he talked. He made an apology to them all for the pain he caused and that he would call. He claims he no longer hears the voices and that he's been making some better choices. Hasn't missed a time or felt the temptations. Grayson asks what about your foundations? What will you do when they are on the outside? It's a city of millions, but you'll have no guide. In prison, you have a safety blanket. Outside, with just a safety net, it's a gambit. Clear finally takes the stand, says I can't. Her voice cracking in emotional rants. She wants to believe her, but he makes her sick. How could someone do such acts? Must be a trick. He sliced off her toes and fed them to her. After he carved out her pancreas, it was a blur. He smiled and he drilled into her head, was fed her brain and thought she was dead. He enjoyed the screams like a sick fudge. Wouldn't wish this on anyone with a grudge. Even with a grudge. Yet she still believes he has good insight and a personality that the others hide. The very idea makes her mad. Doesn't want the good to suffer for the bad. She hopes he gets help so it never happens again, for it has been hard for her to sleep since then. When she sleeps, she imagines him slicing, and though watching anime is enticing, she watches and watches but never sleeps. He haunts her mind and forever creeps. She leaves the restroom almost in tears. It was difficult because she hadn't faced her fears. She stared at the mirror, says it's okay on repeat, paces, mocks herself in a stall, takes a seat. Eventually she goes to listen from above, hurt and scarred, but her heart still filled with love. Sammy's parole the judge has rejected. He needs to prove that he has connected. He can't do this alone. Help he must seek. He needs other people to come and speak. Though he's been denied, he still has a chance. Just needs some friends to help him advance. Cleo thinks that maybe one day she can be his friend. Surely this story will have a good end.